Hi, I'm Mary from Life a Go-Go, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the brain and how you can harness your natural tendencies and the wiring in your brain to improve your productivity and your organizing. So how many of you have tried organizing systems? I have. Now, many have worked, some did not, probably actually a lot. So why do some organizing systems feel easy while others really drain us? And it really isn't about how hard you try or how many fancy bins you buy. And by the way, I love fancy bins. But most systems are not designed around our specific brain types. The secret sauce is we all have a natural preference for how we process information and interact with our environment. And most organizing advice ignores these fundamental brain differences. But Cass Aarssen of the Clutterbug discovered that organizing success comes down to two key dimensions. One, how you store your items. You prefer either visual abundance or visual simplicity. And how you sort your items. You either like to micro sort or you like to macro sort. Hi, it's Mary with Life a Go-Go, and with my co-creator Adrian, we've spent over 5 years building a community where women come together to share tips on home organization, productivity, and life hacks. Here you'll find warm conversations and practical solutions to help make your life a little easier and a lot more enjoyable. After helping hundreds of women, we're excited to expand to YouTube to share our content with a wider audience. So grab a cup of whatever you like, settle in, and let's start creating our best lives together, 1 week at a time. As always, please help our journey by hitting the like, subscribe, and share buttons. Now, people who like visual abundance prefer to store their items so they can see their belongings to remember they even exist. For them, out of sight really does mean out of mind. Now, people who prefer visual simplicity feel very calm when everything is tucked away behind closed doors or in a drawer or in a basket with a lid. Then there's the way we sort things. Detailed sorters love microcategories, separating items into very specific groups and subgroups. Macro sorters prefer broad groupings where everything has a general home without too many subdivisions. So when you combine these preferences, you get 4 distinct Clutterbug types, each with its own needs and its own challenges. But understanding your dominant type helps you stop fighting your natural inclinations, and instead you can work with your brain's blueprint. It's the first step in creating spaces that feel naturally organized with minimal daily effort. You won't need to constantly rethink or redo your systems because they'll already align with how you think. So let's talk about the 4 types. Each Clutterbug needs a very specific system that matches how they think naturally and how they see the world naturally. When you try to force a ladybug solution on a butterfly brain, it's going to create some resistance. Now, you might have the perfect system in theory, but it just won't stick because it fights your natural wiring. So let's look at bees. Bees love visual abundance and detailed storage. I'm a bee. We want to see much of what we own. We want clear containers that let us identify the contents at a quick glance. We love pegboards and bulletin boards for vertical storage organization. We love labeled systems that really maximize. We quickly look and see what's on the file folder. Clear stacking drawers work really well because bees can see what's inside and still keep things sorted. Project boxes and pocket file folders are wonderful for unfinished work or works in progress. And these all help keep bees like myself maintain a very detail-oriented approach without losing track of things. Now, butterflies also love visual abundance, but they prefer very broad categories. They don't want to micro sort, they want to macro sort. Open shelving where they can file things very quickly works best for them. Large clear bins that don't require complicated sorting. They love hooks on walls. They don't want to have to put clothes away in a drawer or hang them in a closet. They may forget them. So hooks on the drawer or bins in a cubby where they can just open up the cubby and see what's in there work. They really benefit from that. Now, crickets want visual simplicity. Everything hidden, or most everything hidden. They want it behind closed doors or in closets or in drawers or in baskets with lids on them or opaque containers that you can't see in. And they also love micro organization. They succeed really well with drawer dividers that create micro categories, totes that can be subdivided so they can tuck things away in a closet or put things in a drawer easily, caddies that they can move from place to place but put in the closet and they won't see again until they want it. That is what a cricket is. Paperwork can become a little bit of a challenge for a cricket because sometimes they will create a system that's too detailed and they can't maintain it. So that is a little bit of a problem with the cricket. Now, ladybugs also love visual simplicity and they love that hidden storage, but they are all about micro sorting, broad categories. They want large bins, open drawers where they can just toss things in, simple drawer dividers, baskets that they can just keep things out of sight, but they're not going to sort within the basket. They might even use, Cass refers to it as filing by piling, where they just pile all their papers in a box, one box. There's no micro sorting, there's no categories, and then they flip it over and deal with it at the end of the year. That's the type of thing for ladybugs. Now, funny thing is, I happen to be a bee, which means I am visually abundant and love micro sorting. So I may see all my stuff, but it is sorted. Micro sorted, as a matter of fact. Like I have all my pens out, but they're sorted by color and type. I have my office supplies out, but they're sorted by, you have staples versus paper clips versus bullnose clips versus miscellaneous clips. I have file folders out with a variety of different colors, but they all have very large labels on them that I can see, and they're sitting vertically. My husband is the exact opposite. My husband is a ladybug, which means he wants visual simplicity and macro organizing. So he wants everything hidden in a drawer, behind a door, inside a closet. But once it's in there, he really doesn't care how it looks. It's kind of just, you open up his tool chest, and for me, I'm like, oh my goodness, look, you have all of the hand tools all mixed together. And for him, it's like, yeah, I need a screwdriver, a hammer, a wrench, or whatever. It's all in here. I can find it. It works for him. So when you match your type of clutterbug you are with the proper tools, then organizing and productivity becomes much easier because your space is going to work how your brain works naturally. And that leads us to something, an overlay of Gretchen Rubin's Four Tendencies. Now, why do some women maintain organization easily while others struggle even with a perfect system? The answer often lies in how you respond to expectation. Gretchen Rubin's Four Tendencies framework explains why even the best Clutterbug systems might not stick. Your tendencies determine whether you'll actually follow through consistently. It all revolves around how you respond to internal and external expectations. Internal expectations is the pressure we put on ourselves, and external expectations are the pressure we perceive from the outside. So there are four types, as she says, the four tendencies. One is the upholder. Now, the upholder tends to be rare in our population, but they meet both internal and external expectations without much trouble. They respect the commitments they make to themselves as well as others. They do really well with scheduled organizing sessions and checklists and putting tasks on a calendar and routines. This supports their tendency to uphold them to themselves as well as others. Now, questioners respond to internal expectation, but not external expectation. As the name implies, they'll question. They need a whole lot of, they want logical reasons before they're going to commit to a system. So perhaps you've taken the quiz, the Clutterbug, but you're going to need to maybe delve a little deeper as a questioner to find out why that particular bug is kind of your dominant way of seeing the world. Questioners want evidence, methods, that these methods are going to work and that they make sense in their life. This is all about their internal expectations. All the external pressure in the world will not have that much impact on how they handle their reactions. They want data. Questioners love data. And once they start a system, they like to track their data. Maybe how many bags you took to donate, or how much time was saved because you didn't hunt for your keys every morning. They respond well to tracking their progress. Now, obligers meet external accountability without any problems. I'm an obliger, and there are a lot of us in the population, and we have very little internal accountability. In other words, if I've promised you I'll do something, it's guaranteed it will happen. If I've promised me I'll do something, I'm going to struggle with that. These self-imposed deadlines don't work well for us, but external deadlines, oh man, we meet it and exceed it every time. Now, an obliger might hire someone like me, a professional organizer, for regular sessions, or maybe they'll join a group or tell a friend about the goals. Anyhow, something that will create external pressure to follow through. So if you discover, say, your bug is a cricket, but you want to work with your good friend and you hold each other accountable for getting everything put away, or following your routine, or finding homes for everything. The last person is the rebel. And rebels, there are not that many rebels also in the population, and they resist all expectations, internal or external. Basically, you can't make me do it, and I can't make me do it either. They really want complete autonomy and choice in their systems. They would probably resist even taking the Clutterbug quiz or the Four Tendencies quiz, but rebels will benefit from, maybe they make lists of everything they need to do, but they get to choose how they tackle it or what day they tackle things. They work best when they adapt methods freely and make organizing feel like their own idea rather than a chore. Now, your tendency affects everything from daily maintenance to how you handle deadlines. Understanding it helps you design motivations that actually work instead of fighting your natural responses. So when you combine the knowledge with your Clutterbug type, you can create a complete approach that addresses both your space and your behavior patterns. This integration makes organization sustainable rather than another temporary fix. The goal here is to use your natural wiring and motivations to support and improve your daily life. To start, I suggest you take the Aarssen free quiz over at the Clutterbug, and then go on to Gretchen Rubin and explore her 4 tendencies and take her quiz. We'll make sure we have all the links to the websites listed below, and let us know what you think. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Until the next time, cheers.